I don't really keep up with them, to be honest. But all right, here go Raven.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Raven Chapman, um, recent signee with Steffi Bull. It's my understanding that you used to campaign as a lightweight in the amateurs. Is that correct?
At the beginning, no, but I was featherweight still in the amateurs. Yeah.
Okay, so when you go pro, when you make your professional debut, we can expect to see you debut at 126 pounds.
Yes.
Okay, now just give us a little bit of a walkthrough of how it is you came to be in the sport. Like how'd all of that get started?
So I grew up with my dad. He was big into martial arts, boxing, Muay Thai. He was a Muay Thai fighter and kickboxer. So I think I just I was around it all the time. I was big into football when I was younger, so I used to play that more than I did boxing. But yeah, I eventually just decided I really like boxing and I'm going to give it a go, you know, messing around with my dad, doing pads and stuff and having little fights. I just thought I really enjoy this, so I'm gonna do it and put myself in there. Went down to the local boxing club and gave it a go.
Yeah, because usually it's the weirdest thing. Girls usually take after their fathers. So it's fair to say that since your dad was a fighter, you have that same impulse to fight.
Yeah.
Like he liked it and you liked it.
Yeah, definitely. Funnily enough, I was sparring the other day. I sent my dad the videos of it, and he's like, "Oh, you really remind me of how I used to box." I was like, "Oh, that's not a bad thing, I don't think." So
Yeah, it's like me and my daughter. She literally has the same affinities that I have. For literally every single one of them, and it's not, you know. So girls usually take after their fathers. It's the weirdest thing.
Definitely, I'm definitely a daddy's girl, I'd say.
All right. So I did, before we get into anything extensive, did you manage to see yesterday's fight, and what did you think?
Yes, I did. Serrano, she's the real deal, isn't she? I think lovely. Was it right shot to the body? Beautiful, just great. I think she's just pound for pound one of the best for me. Definitely. Yeah, great fight.
And that's going to be the division that you campaigning in the future, correct?
Yeah, definitely. So I made sure to watch. I didn't watch it live. I watched it in the morning because I had to get up early for training. But yeah, very impressive. I thought both fighters were very good. Lovely technical showcase of women's boxing. You know, these are 2 pound for pound, some of the best. You know, so the fact that they've both taken that challenge and done it, that's respect to both fighters there as it is. And yeah, just beautiful body shot from Serrano.
Now, on the subject of women's boxing, which is always a very hot topic, where do you stand on the 3-minute round? Would you like that extra minute in professional boxing, or do you feel that the pay scale needs to be raised before we even start talking about that that extra minute?
Well, coming from the amateur background, we did 3 minutes. So for me, it's strange going back to 2 minutes. I'm used to doing 3. I quite like doing 3. I do think with 3-minute rounds, the fights will be very different. You will see more stoppages, and I think those fighters which are just very come forward, not as much technical ability will be exposed a bit more. Because in that extra minute you can't do that for that amount of time over 6, 8, 10 rounds. You know, I think there would be a lot more stoppages. So for me personally, I'd welcome the 3 minutes because I'm used to doing 3 minutes. So that's what I train.
I never even thought about that, but when you said that, it just, it clicked. That like, well, there's a lot of fighters, they come out real front foot heavy, throwing a lot of punches, and if you add that minute, well, they're gonna blow their gasket and they're gonna be tired.
Yeah, they'll expose themselves over that extra minute over the course of the fight. I think a lot of fights would play out very differently.
Now, what about the pay scale? Because there's also a lot of talk these days about the pay scale for women's boxing versus men's boxing. What are your general thoughts on that?
On the pay, I think at the moment, you know, I definitely believe in like equality, and we should be treated just like the men. but at the same time, there isn't quite that pool there. When there's the bigger fights, then yeah, definitely, you know, like when Ronda Rousey took UFC and people wanted to watch her fight. At the end of the day, it's a business, so you've got to have people come in and watch it. She took it by storm and made the pay much more equal for the women in UFC, because she was stopping her opponents in within like a minute of a round with the arm bars, and that's what women's boxing needs. It needs that excitement where people want to watch it and will pay the money to watch it, and that's the thing. As much as I would love that to be equal now, because we work just as hard, you know, we don't skip in the gym. We're there constantly. We're doing our thing so that we can get up there. But I think it'll just take time, when the fan base is really built and people really do want to see women's boxing, which I believe will happen. And I think with the extra minute in them 3 minutes, people will see what they want to see. They'll see the knockouts, they'll see the stoppages. And that's just all it's lacking a little bit at the moment. But at the same time, the technical skill is there.
What do you feel is at the heart of the matter, though? So because it sounds like what you're saying is that it's a marketing issue. They need the same promotion in order to build the fan bases, thereby bring in the money.
I think that's the shame with sports. Like, it all becomes about money and business rather than the best fighting the best, or the best playing the best, whatever sport. It's like, that's what you want to see, but if the money's not there, it won't be made from the business point of view, which I think is what drags professional sports down. Like in the amateurs, you can't avoid anyone. You have to box who's in front of you. Like, you don't get to choose. It's a random draw. You just have to box who's put there. And with the pros, I think it's just, but that's how they make money, and that's what the pros is about. So you have to sort of suck that up and just realize that that's the world that it is. It's different to the amateurs.
That's a very, I mean, because I have the same take that it's like, well, it's a marketing issue.
Yeah.
If you market them the same as the men, the money will come.
Exactly.
But the money's not just going to be there. It has to, you know, be generous. The same way it is for the guys. You know, the same way you bring along the guys, you got to bring along the girls.
Yeah, and that's why the heavyweight boxing is so popular, because technically they're not always the greatest to watch. You know, if you think like the Chocolatito fight, how amazing was that to watch the other day? But people want to see stoppages, and that's what the heavyweight boxers bring, and that's why the heavyweight boxing is so popular, because that's what people watch it for. It's that entertainment value that it adds to the game. Not that there isn't stoppages in the lighter weights, but you know, one shot changes a lot in heavyweight boxing. So
yeah, that's really what distinguishes that division. Like, I remember I was watching Derek Chisora versus Carlos Takam. Looks like Carlos Takam is winning most of the fight out of the clear blue sky.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Well, it's like tomorrow night you got Dillian Whyte against Povetkin. The first fight, Dillian Whyte was outboxing Povetkin, and then he gets caught. And that's it. That's one shot can change the whole outcome of the fight.
Now that you mentioned that fight, I put myself on the spot. I'm going with Dillian Whyte. I don't care why. I'm going with
Dillian. Me too.
Oh, yeah, because I had to ask you.
I want revenge for Dillian. You know, he deserved that shot ages ago, and then he finally got that stepping stone to get there, and he just got shot. But I like his attitude, because he's like, yeah, I got hit with a shot, but I'm gonna come again. You know, it doesn't matter.
That's what made me a fan of him.
Again. Yeah,
that's what made me, because he did. That was like, I think that people didn't look at that fight in the proper lens. It's a dangerous fight. Yeah. The dude is a gold medalist.
Definitely. Like, people overlook Povetkin, definitely, and you know, he's an older guy, but when you look at who he's fought, what he's achieved, and if you think all them hours in the gym, he's not just you got muscle memory. That shot was a practice shot that he's practiced for years, and the opportunity was there, and he took it. And that's what you're meant to do as boxers. You see it and you go, and that's how those stoppages happen.
Like I was watching it live, and it was like I saw it and didn't process it. Like, yo, what the hell just happened?
I just had my hands in my head, like, what just happened? Like, no way. Like, Dillian had this 100% in my head. That wasn't even on the cards.
Hmm.
So, you know, fair play to Povetkin. He pulled out the bag. Like, that was a super uppercut.
I
So,
think that was just one of those magic moments in boxing because honestly, up until that point, the fight looked like, oh, this about to be
yeah,
over. Like he
yeah,
about to knock
yeah,
Alexander out. And
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, was Dillian maybe overcautious? You know, like he had him hurt. Could he have got him out there then? Was he told
I
to
don't know
like
that he
stay
could.
back? I don't know.
I don't know that he could have done because he's using his jab. He was
Yeah,
controlling the
his
fight. He got
boxing
a couple
lovely.
of knockdowns, and
Out of nowhere, there it was, and that's the big changer, isn't it? That's the difference. So, yeah.
so back to you.
Hmm.
And just are there any fighters out there that you draw inspiration from, like Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor,
Hmm.
Chantel Cameron, any of these fighters that are out there?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Katie Taylor, what she's done for women's boxing the last few years has been amazing. Clarissa, she's up there. She's really, you know, pushing and pushing for women's boxing to get big and get those opportunities. Amanda Serrano, you know, I think like she's in my weight that I'm gonna go in, and she's been a pioneer for women's boxing. I just love her attitude. She's full of respect. She respects her opponents, and you know, hopefully I'll get to fight her one day, you know, in the future, and that would be amazing because these are the pioneers of the sport, and that's what you're aiming to go for. So I take a lot of inspiration from them, and even my teammate Terry, seeing what she's achieved and being part of that, it feels good, and it rubs off on you, you know. It makes you more hungry. Like Amanda replied to a tweet on Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, she knows me. And just that, I was like, she was so humble, and I just think, yeah, that it's just made me even hungrier to get there. So seeing that makes you want it even more, makes that fire burn even more. So yeah, it's brilliant. I think at the minute there's a lot of women coming through.
Hmm. Now, do you see yourself going from 126, 130, maybe a couple of years down the line? Like, do you see yourself being a 2 division or a 3 division champion? Is that what you want?
Yeah, definitely. That's what we aim for. You know, me and my coaches say it's like we're going to be a multi-weight world champion. Let's do it. Let's go get it. And that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. Try and get that featherweight one and see what we do. Do we move up? Do we move down? We'll see when the time comes.
Yeah, because in the featherweight division, there's a lot of girls that are low on the radar. I would say probably here stateside because they're abroad. Like
Okay.
there's a Polish girl named Laura Grzeb, very
Yeah.
good fighter. There's this Russian girl Tatiana. Her name is really hard to pronounce. There's a lot of
Yeah.
consonants in it, but she yeah, because I can't say, like, I don't know how to say that, but it's
Yeah.
just
At least my name's easy to pronounce. You know.
Raven Chapman
Yeah.
rolls off the tongue.
There you go.
So,
Perfect.
multi-weight champion, that's on the radar. Now,
Definitely.
as far as what does Raven Chapman's women's pound for pound list look like?
Pound for
Top
pound.
5 fighters.
5. Okay. So obviously Terry Harper, Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, Savannah Marshall. I
Oh
think
yeah.
she's an amazing boxer. Does it have to be boxing?
I mean, not really, because I'm not really like it could be MMA too. Like if
Yeah, just Amanda Nunes. She's a big, you know, she's a tough woman, and
let me tell you something about Amanda Munoz. I don't even watch MMA, but when
yeah,
she fights, I
you want to
watch.
watch it. Yeah, exactly. You know, she's a BJJ fighter, but she can punch. You know, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think she's really impressive. And again, she's humble, she's respectful, and a brilliant fighter.
Yeah, like I think for me, it started at least paying attention to her. Everybody wrote her off in the Chris Cyborg fight.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
thought she was going to lose that fight,
yeah.
and when she knocked out, I was like, "Yo,
Dominated. It wasn't even like a little bit. It was just a complete thrashing, domination.
yeah, she's a special fighter.
Yeah,
She's a
yeah.
special fighter." So, men's pound for pound.
Um. Okay. This one's always so hard. There's so many. Canelo. Triple G, I love his attitude. Lomachenko, I love his movement. Chocolatito, I know I've mentioned. I like his style. I feel like it's quite similar to me, the way he comes in and all of that. And I'll probably give a shout out to my Bournemouth guy, Chris Billum, who boxed the other weekend. What a fighter! Again,
That was a hell of a fight.
yeah, granite chin, up for a fight. Really respectful guy. So I give a good shout out to my mate Chris.
That was a hell of a fight, though. Like that, he fought that Czech guy. I think he was from Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
I think that's the flag.
Tough guy. Yeah.
Tough guy. Tough division because he's a cruiserweight, right? He's a cruiserweight. Tough division right now. Like there's a lot of good guys in the cruiserweight division, and it's getting more because when I came, like I'm kind of old. And I always remember the cruiserweight division didn't used to get a lot of attention, but now it's getting
about it. Yeah. Now there's like seems to be more and more people coming up. Oh, cruiserweight, that's one to watch now. But again, it's because they're the big guys, and actually they also have that knockout power in the fight. Anything can happen.
That being said, you mentioned Chocolatito. I gotta pick your brain. What'd you think of the fight? Like, how did you have it?
I had Chocolatito. I don't know if that's biased, but I had Chocolatito maybe by 1 or 2 rounds.
No, I had him too, and it just I don't know. It just felt like looking at it. It just felt like, look, he's coming forward. He's getting off more. He's backing. He's constantly putting Juan on the ropes, and I'm like, well, Juan's not getting on those ropes by himself. He's being put there.
He's been put there, and that's why I think like from that point of view, he's the one forcing the pace. He's landing the clean shots. He was covering up, moving well, creating nice angles. For me, it was Chocolatito. I do think it was close. Like say you speak to someone else who preferred Juan's work, and they'd say he got it by 1 or 2 rounds. So that's the beauty of boxing. It's so like individual to the person watching.
It is,
especially in those close fights. Like I say, when it's those top people.
Yeah, but the controversy of it all is, look, if you say that you had it for Juan, but it was close, cool. If you say you had it for Choco, but it was close, cool. But when everybody heard that 117, 111, it's like
no, that was the craze, because I remember thinking, what? Like, surely not. Like, but
now you described your style as being similar to Chocolatito's. Describe what you mean.
So I come forwards behind high guard. I like to throw my left hook. I like to work the body. I like to roll my head. And I'll be there. I'll be on you. I'll change the angles. I'll roll around you. I'll throw shots from awkward places. And that's how I like to box. And I'll throw in bunches. I don't just throw single shots.
Okay, and when can we expect to see you in your pro debut? Is there a time frame at all?
Hopefully soon as possible. So at the moment, I'm just waiting for the boxing board because they haven't started their interviews yet with everything that's been going on. So I'm still waiting for that because I was hoping for a May date, but that's not looking likely at the moment. So hopefully now summertime. And like, I've got itchy knuckles. I can't wait to get out there. Just want to go and box now. I've been doing like a fake fight camp for the last 8 weeks, and this was like my little last sort of taper week. And I was ready to go. I was ready to fight a few weeks ago. Like, I need the date. So yeah, hopefully May time. That's the plan.
Okay, now I gotta pick your brain with a little bit of trivia. There's a lot of fights that's coming down the pipeline. Which one are you looking forward to the most?
The 2 big guys, I guess. It's got to be, hasn't it?
It has to be, yeah. It does. Like what other fight? That's the fight, bro, of the century.
Fight. Yeah. So
who do you like for that fight?
So I've sparred Tyson Fury.
What's that like?
Little old me, yeah. I went easy on him. Don't worry.
Thank God. So he's okay, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No, honestly, he's got crazy movement for such a big guy. Like, he is a big guy, and the way he can move around the ring is like, whoa, you can move that weight around pretty well.
Yeah, that's his standout quality, that he's so
Yeah.
huge, but he
Yeah.
moves like he's a
He
middleweight.
makes it look effortless.
I want to say that about Savannah too, by the way. Peter Fury is just doing amazing because she moves like she's like a super flyweight or something, but she's big girl, hit hard.
They make it look easy, like oh, it's no big deal. Yeah, like nothing's even getting exerted, no energy's being used. But yeah, so he does move really well, and obviously we know what Tyson Fury's about. And obviously AJ, I know AJ from being at GB. So he's, you know, one of the GB boys. So for me, I'd have to stay loyal to AJ. And I do think he's got some power. Like, you hear it in the gym, and you would not want to be on the end of that punch.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down. I think it just kind of comes down. Like, I do have a pick, and it's not that it matters because it's the heavyweight division. Yeah. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I guess it's because AJ can fight on the outside, fight on the inside, and that's kind of what makes me lean towards it. Like, you know, he's not limited to boxing from the outside. He can actually, when he's close to you, he could get off really, really hard punches, like the uppercut that he landed on Klitschko. That changed the whole fight when he got off that uppercut. So,
exactly. And that's it. He can, and he's got good rhythm, you know. I think all the work that he's been doing lately, and it showed in his last few fights, that he's got that flow. Like, there's something extra to his game at the minute, and I think that will really come out in that fight. So yeah, it'll be one to watch, won't it? It's a hard one to pick.
Okay. Raven Chapman's favorite boxing movie. Just one.
Boxing movie. Oh.
It can't be Rocky. Don't say Rocky.
No, I love Cinderella Man.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Yo, dog. My eyes welled up when I watched that movie. Like, I was fighting back tears, dog. Like, I was like,
I might have to watch that tonight. I've not watched it in years. And when I first time watched it, I was like, this movie is amazing.
It
is.
Have to
watch that tonight. That's me.
And that's Ring IQ's movie recommendations. If you have not seen Cinderella Man and you watch that movie, dog.
Cinderella Man.
All right. Second favorite boxing movie.
What?
All right, I'll recommend one to you.
I don't know.
I'll recommend one to you. If you haven't seen it yet, watch The Fighter. It's Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale.
That's the one I was trying to think of. I couldn't remember Mark Wahlberg's name. I was like, what's the one with him? Yeah, The Fighter. Yeah.
He was Mickey Ward. Great movie. I think they did a great job of just telling that portion of his story, because they didn't actually do the Gaddy fight. They just kept it on the Neary fight, but they didn't do the Gaddy fight. I hope they do the Gaddy fight, because that's a career-defining fight for Mickey Ward. But
yeah, maybe that's the next one they'll do.
Okay, now what does Raven Chapman listen to on the way to the gym or in the gym?
Do you know, at the minute, because the sun's been out, I've been banging the soul music out in the car. I love it. It gets you in a good mood, gets you like upbeat. And for me, that it's all about being in a good mood, being happy, being upbeat. And the old school soul songs, can't beat them. Love it. A bit of Dusty Springfield in the
70s music is generally anything from the 70s. I'll say the 60s a little bit, late 60s, but anything from the 70s, man, is happy music. Makes you happy, makes you want to dance, gives you energy.
That's it, yeah. And I think because it's spring here the minute, it's kind of making me like, I'm in the soul mood at the moment.
Okay, last. What were Raven, and this is completely arbitrary, what were Raven Chapman's favorite Saturday morning cartoons?
Saturday morning what?
Cartoons.
Cartoons. Powerpuff Girls. Samurai Jack.
Okay.
Samurai Jack. What else did I watch? Oh, Dexter's Lab.
Dexter. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
Bit of Cartoon Network there.
Yeah, that's the whole Cartoon Network lineup, right? Lil Dexter with his glasses and the little black pants. All right. Hobbies. Aside from punching girls in the face, what are Raven Chapman's hobbies?
Oh, so I love camping. What I like to do, going walking. It's me. Like, to be fair, I'm very boxing at the moment. That's all I'm doing. I love Vespers, things like that. So I'm a little bit Vespers, minis, that kind of thing. Going to like little car rallies. I'm into that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we can end it here. Raven, it's been a pleasure. I hope to have you back on when you get a fight date, and we'll talk about your
100%.
opponent.
I'm up for that. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure. You're always welcome. Thank you very
Thanks
much
for having me. Thank you. Great chatting to you. See you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.